Hello, everybody. This is Afefe with Touch by Tarot. I hope you're doing really well. I am here. Can you imagine we are already in the month of March? Like, whoa, what happened to January and February just that quick? But 2024 is having, it has this accelerated energy about it. And so here we go, rolling right along. So I'm taping this on March the 1st. This is a pick a card reading for you all. This is really about, it's a message from your inner self. It's a message from your soul, your higher self, whatever term really pings you. But it is about going within. We are, entering March, right in getting into the swing of Pisces season. And in tarot, Spirit led me to point this out. In tarot, in this deck, they use affirmations for the major arcana, but in tarot, the Pisces relates to the hangman. Hangman being ruled by Neptune, and Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. I really wanted to share that message with you all because it says here they call it sacrifice instead of the hangman. They call it sacrifice, and sacrifice is one of the attributes of the hangman in tarot. It is about not sacrificing yourself, but sometimes having to sacrifice the need for control, having to, making a choice to sacrifice what you would otherwise be doing with your time because you do want to take that moment to pause. It says, I pause, I breathe, and I enter a sanctuary of peace. It is about our attitude and our perspective. So those are going to be really, really key during the month of March, especially as, remember, towards the end of March, March 25th, we go into eclipses. So we get that first lunar eclipse in Libra, followed by an eclipse in solar eclipse in early April. So this is a time to really reflect and get our game plan together and really go within to go with the flow. With the hangman, there is this energy of pausing, yes, but it is pausing because we're learning to surrender to our greater selves, our higher selves, listening to and really getting in touch with and taking heed to a lot of the feedback that we get from our spirit guides, all right? Whether we use tarot, oracles, meditation, journaling, our psychic intuition using the clairs, all those ways that Spirit speaks to us. March is going to give us that opportunity to really put a lot of that into practice. So I'm gonna save this over here as a catalyst, keeping in mind that these three piles somehow all relate to the theme of the month, which is doing the inner work, the inner self. And this is going to be a message from your inner self, how you can better navigate what to expect, what you'll manifest, all the things that you've got going on right now in your consciousness and your subconscious around the month of March. All right. So having said that, let's go in. And for those of you who are new to my channel, I spread the cards and I put them into piles and I select the stones. Spirit gives me all of this, but I have not seen any of these. I don't see them until I start to tape. All right. So that's, you have my word on that. I have no idea what's in front of me. I trust Spirit. I say the prayers and I pull the cards according to the stones. So let's see what we got. For pile number 1 will be those of you who are drawn to this piece of raw emerald. All right, that's pile number 1. Pile number 2, and those of you who are drawn to this pyrite. This thing is heavy too. All right, that'll be pile number 2, those of you who are drawn to the pyrite. And pile number 3, those of you who are drawn to this amethyst. Okay, amethyst cluster. All right, so just take a moment, take a breath. You may choose more than one pile. Some people, like my pick of cards and get some sort of message from all 3. So just follow your intuition, all right? Pile number 1, the emerald. Number 2, the pyrite. Number 3, the amethyst. Okay, so having said that, let's go on in. And let's see your messages from your inner self, your higher self for the month of March. So for those of you who chose the emerald, here we go. This is your reading. We have originality. Ooh, I love this. With Mercury in Aquarius. You see that? Those symbols down at the bottom tell me that. Mercury in Aquarius. So originality. There's, for many of you, and the number 11 may mean something to some of you as well. But this month is going to definitely bring out your authentic self. Your inner self right off the bat is saying, pile number one, show up unapologetically for who you are. And if that means that you need to take some time to sort of get back in touch with that, what your core values are. Maybe you've gone through changes in life that have pretty much forced your hand, and you've had to pivot. You've had to figure out a different way to do things. Maybe you voluntarily said, hey, I'm ready to, enter a new phase of life. August is going to be an interesting time for you. There's something that will come through for you in relation to this development of your inner self. And a broken wishbone, a wish will not be granted. That's interesting. A wish will not be granted. Because it feels like with that originality, there's some compromise that you would have had to make had this wish come true. So I don't see that as a negative at all because of originality. I think this is, part of your self-assessment at this time could be your higher self, your inner self is saying, no, this certain thing that you were doing, relationship, project, etc., maybe something you wanted, and maybe you were trying to manifest something and it didn't come through, but it's because it would not have been in alignment with who you really are. We have, you are not alone, isolation, physical connection, and community. I wonder if that was a part of the wish. Maybe there was something that you were trying to do with family, with others, and you've been in this position of slowly kind of having to feel like an outsider. This also feels for me, for some of you, this is family related. This is some of, people who will refer to themselves or feel as if you are the quote unquote black sheep of a family, or your family doesn't get you. This could also be your co-workers, etc. And it is because of this originality that your higher self, inner self is saying, don't change it for nothing. There is the Pilgrim comes up, opportunities for growth. That ties into that originality as well. So March is bringing you, let me pull these back so you can get everything on the screen for you. March is giving you an opportunity to hit a reset, pile number one. You're going to hit some sort of reset. Let me see what else we have for you. We've got black tourmaline as a stone. I'll get to that in a moment. Oh my gosh, you won't believe this, you all. As I'm revealing the cards, I just got a hint Spirit gave me around family. And sure enough, look at your medicine. It says healing family lines. Can't make it up. And I promise you, I give you my sacred promise, I do not see these cards before I reveal them. I have no idea what's coming. Makes it exciting for me, actually. Because I know that I trust Spirit to always deliver just the message that whoever picks the pile is going to need. So this is you have felt on your own, and you are taking the journey of the pilgrim, but it's leading to your growth in being able to honor your inner self and show up as who you are. And I'm going to get in on that August a little bit more in a moment. Free yourself from secrets. Discover the hidden truth of your heritage. So for some of you, that hangman energy that I talked about in the introduction, it could be you are taking some time to rediscover who you are based on your family lineage, or who you are in relation to it. Maybe there are ways that you are discovering your own originality that sets you apart from the way others in your family, your ancestors may have done things. And here you have the traveler moving in a new direction. Talking about the pilgrim. Whoa, how well that fits, right? Because you are going on a journey. And for many of you, it could be, inner travel, inner work, inner learning. That is it. That's the new direction that you're going in, is giving yourself the permission to show up as who you really are, even if family or others have something to say about it. And in you doing this, you do heal something in your family line. We've got the King of Wands that shows up for you and the Four of Pentacles. You know what? Pile number one, I feel like in terms of this, going back to this healing family energy, this feels like there was a lot of control exerted over some of you, and perhaps by a male influence, a father figure, a big brother, a cousin, even a teacher. But there was some sort of control that was exerted over you. And part of what, in your ability to cope with that and deal with it, there was a part of you that learned how to step back and separate yourself from what was really going on with them to kind of go along to get along. But there's this part that in this present time, your inner self is saying it's time to recognize what that was and move on from it and understand that you are in control, because this was definitely some controlling energy. We've got the Five of Swords that comes as well, and that's a message that's trying to get through to you. I feel like that's tied to this August. Something's going to become clearer towards August. I'm sorry about that noise in the background. Something's going to become clearer as you get towards August. Maybe March is the beginning of this quote unquote pilgrimage that you're making to understand your higher self better, to understand your authentic self, your true self, what sets you apart, what makes you original. And we've got the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, that is you taking back control, but not in an angry way. This is you taking control of your possessions, because this is in Pentacles. But that Four of Pentacles coming with that King, it feels like that's control. With that Pentacles, it's mine, mine, mine. Or it could even be that some of you were given some very limiting beliefs about your wishes being able to come true in relation to your financial well-being, in relation to love, in relation to having family. Some of you may have had struggles around building a family of your own. You may have been in marriages, divorced, and breakups that in relationships that somehow reflected the patterns that you had with family and with feeling controlled by others. So this Queen of Pentacles comes in March to say, as a reflection of your inner self, this is taking care of yourself and knowing that you are perfectly capable of generating anything that you may need financially, in your health, in your well-being, in your mental health as well, your spiritual health, all aspects that impact your physical existence. You have the ability, and you are recognizing that. That's part of what's coming out with that originality. You did get black tourmaline as a stone of master protection. And it's also a root chakra stone. So it could be part of what's happening in March is you are completely hitting a reset button and insisting on your higher self, your inner self is insisting on you being able to show up freely for who you are, and recognize that at long last it's time to heal the family lines. But you do that by doing something different, not by trying to just always say, okay, you're right, you're right, you're right. And I think you're finding a new community. Some of you are stepping outside of quote unquote traditional family lines to explore and connect in ways that, to find your people. Some of this is you're finding your people. And that is a pilgrimage of a sort. And it's a beautiful pilgrimage. I do want to look at this August timeline and that Five of Swords. Spirit, what is that about? August timeline and the Five of Swords. The Chariot comes. Let's see. The Chariot is a time. Okay, some of you could be Cancers, because Cancer comes in what? In mid-July and stays until late June into mid-July. So by August you're free. By August you have this this clarity that you need, this understanding of here's the new direction that I'm going in, regardless to what anyone else has to say. I can provide for myself. I'm stepping into my power. And even if you are male watching this, this is the Queen of Pentacles represents the generous spirit. So all of us can have divine masculine and feminine traits. All right. So don't count yourself out with that Queen of Pentacles. It's not gender specific. It's energy specific. And whereas the Kings rule, they have authority over, they master the different suit that they relate to. With the queens, they create, they nurture, they grow, they flow with it. All right. Very important too that talking about flow, we're in Pisces season, which is a water sign. So this is flowing into yourself. And that Chariot is saying you will move through a period of uncertainty, a period of listening to other people's opinions, feeling like you have to live up to what others have to say, or feeling like you always have to defend yourself for being who you really are. That whole pattern is going to just, I almost feel like it's going to evaporate for you as you move forward. Oh my gosh. And then you got death, rebirth. See? This is a pilgrimage. It is a rebirth. Your inner self is saying, pile number one, March for you is a reset. It is a rebirth. And you are rebirthing yourself from a family line that in some ways led you, it did feel like broken promises. And it did feel like it's prevented you, wishes that you have had that have not come true, that you've been trying to manifest. For many of you, I do feel like this is love, family, it's your connection with people, because it says you're not alone. That brings me back to this card. You're not alone. You have gone through periods of what you felt like was for some of you it was chosen isolation, chosen the decision that you've made consciously to not love again, to not risk getting your heart broken again, to not push too far or be too seen or be too maybe perceived as confrontational. But all of that is being like just turned on its head for you in this month of March. And there is a time period for you all between March and August where it all begins. By that time, by August, you will have moved through it. You really will have moved through it. And look, I'm going to hold that up with that traveler going in that new direction. Some of you are literally thinking about moving, and maybe you don't want to leave family, or family has something to say about it, or maybe it involves having to perhaps sell or rent family property. There's some tie between your ability to be authentic, original, move forward in this pilgrimage in your life with that Chariot. So in order for you to do that, you've also got to recognize that you are no longer under the control of others. You are no longer, you don't have to hold your future yourself hostage to the limiting beliefs, the fears that others may have planted in you. And sometimes people, especially when it comes to family, those things can be done to us. We get that conditioning because that's what they knew. They did the best they knew how to do. It wasn't necessarily to harm us, but for you all, there's an individuality in you, your originality that is really showing up very, very strongly. And you will begin to go through this metamorphosis. And when you feel like you need a little boost, a little grounding, a little protection, from the negative thoughts, the negative patterns, the conditioning that's not getting you where you want to go, that black tourmaline is going to be a really good stone for you in the month of March and maybe beyond. All right, pile number one. That was pretty powerful. You definitely are going through a really an interesting transformational time. And it is something that is deeply, deeply personal, in the sense that you're the only one that's going to know exactly how to go about getting the results that you want from it. But you can, and you will, because your inner self has spoken on it. All right, moving on now to pile number two. Those of you who chose the Pyrite. Let's see what we got. You have the Herkimer Diamond as your stone that will help you enlightenment. All right, I'll come back to that towards the end, so that's good to know. You have winter, a time for turning inward. That's what you've been doing. And then it followed by spring. All right, I love it, Spirit. Bring it. Different decks. You know how I do. Or if you don't, welcome to, I use multiple decks because that's how Spirit speaks to me and delivers the messages. I see themes and how they come together from the different decks. So we're going from winter into spring. Pile number 2. Things are moving for you. The world, as I said that, and I'm going to turn these around for you to see them as well. In fact, I'll do it as I lay them down. So we have the world, we have spring, we have winter. There's movement. There's going from one place to another for you all. We have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, some of you may be in discussions about travel or actual movement and or a change of life, going from a period of withdrawal, a period of quiet, a period of stagnation, even for some of you, I'm feeling. But that spring is saying, okay, it's time, see your seeds go is the subtitle on this card. And that's exactly what some of you are ready to do. Your inner self is saying your winter is literally turning into spring, and that's going to bring a totally new chapter. You're going to close a chapter on one part of life and be ready to open a chapter on another. And it's going to be exciting for you. The Knight of Swords. It could have to do, some of you are writing, creating artistic works. Some of you are changing jobs or reconfiguring the way, or multiple streams of income I see for some of you. But your plans are like you have gone from one stage of stepping back, planning, being still, to now being ready to get it moving. We have the Ten of Swords. There's some trepidation around this change that you're going to make, but your inner self is recognizing that at the end of the day, what the 10 does, the 10 of Swords says cause for worry is over, right? The 10 is completion, another form of completion, just as the world is. So something that's been stressing you, and I'm going to put this over here with that winter season, because this feels like a winter, almost like a dark night of the soul for some of you. And it may not have been quite as drastic as that, but there's something here that's indicating you have been through a trying time, a really trying time, and you are moving into a different time. Here comes strength to verify that. Right? Strength ruled by Leo. So you're showing up for yourself. You are you will, if you don't already, your inner self is saying you will be ready to be playful again, to be creative. A lot of you, or some of you, I should say, not necessarily a lot, but there is an artistic quality to what you do, or something that you are trying to create, even if that is more along the lines of a business. It doesn't have to be so artsy, but I do feel some of you are in the creative arts, or you are creating a different life path, and you are planting your seeds for it, and it's going to grow. The tailor, attention to detail and pride. Yep. You are definitely, your inner self is saying whatever this project is, whatever this next phase of life is, your inner self is like, I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. Let's go. It says you're not for everyone. Embrace your weirdness and face your true north. I love that. I don't think I've ever pulled that card from this deck before. All right. So that is a part, some of what led you to have a little anxiousness. And maybe that was part of that quote unquote dark night of the soul with that winter, where you had to step back and reflect, is because you've either gone through, some of you have gone through feeling rejected or misunderstood, or putting yourself in that frame of mind, telling yourself, I am such a different person. I know that I'm an oddball. I know that I'm a nerd. I know that I'm this or I'm that, where you've put labels on yourself to that in effect caused you to step back, because it's easier to be in your own space and not worry about other people's judgment, and just to say, hey, I am not for everybody. But now there's a part of you that's moving into something else. You've got a bell, an announcement. Pay attention to that. There's something that's coming your way. there's some sort of communication that's coming your way that helps lead you into spring, into this next chapter of your life. And I feel like this bell, I'm going to put it over here with the Knight of Swords, because that could very well be with this news that's coming in towards you, an announcement. Someone's bringing you an announcement. I'm going to look deeper at that in a moment. There's some timing going on here for you all with April. And finally, we have Jupiter in Aquarius, innovation. I knew it. Some of you are definitely creatives and artists in some form, or business people in some form. But you make things, you create things, you tailor things, attention to detail and pride. You take pride in your creations. And something perhaps had to go through a period of reconfiguration because you were not accepted. You, in fact, may have been downright rejected. It could have been, if this was business, it could have been an idea that you had, a project that you had, people that you thought were going to work with you on something, and it kind of fizzled, and you stepped back and said, okay, well, maybe it's on me, and I'm just going to step back and do me. I'd rather be in control of my own vision, right? I want to see what this April time frame, and get closer on, hone in a little more on what this announcement is, because that Knight of Swords with that bell definitely feels like something is coming toward you, and your inner self is saying, hey, we want you to be on alert for this. And there's definitely that timing element between April, that April coming, and with its, spring flowers. That April came with the spring card that you got. The spring oracle, see your seeds grow. Something's blossoming for you all, pile number 2. And remember too, you were drawn to this pyrite. Pyrite is a stone of manifestation, and particularly abundance, money. It is known or believed to attract money. We've got the 8 of Cups and the High Priestess. And the 9 of Swords after that 10. This almost feels like an apology is coming to some of you. Because I was getting closer into this Knight of Swords and the announcement. Something that allows you and helps you to turn the corner. And here again, this brings me back. Some situation that you were in that you felt like an outsider, or you felt like you were misunderstood, and perhaps even mistreated to a certain extent. And so you had to step away, or just go into your own shell, or into your own, bubble to get things done. But now you're coming out and it's ready to grow. And there's something here. 8 of Cups and the High Priestess. There's something that you have not seen yet, or hasn't been revealed yet, but it will. It's almost like you walked away from it, but I feel like this is an apology, because it comes also with that 9 of Swords. You had the 10 of Swords as well. There's something here where, 2 ways I see this. One is for some of you, after a period of heightened anxiety, you are healing from it, and you're ready to go into a totally new phase of life. You are literally ready to move on with that world. It's coming in the spring, hands down. This messaging that's coming in, though, I think it's, oh, I got it. Okay, let me just double check myself. I think this might be your inner self. Spirit, is that what this is? Is this the inner self? No. Spirit said no. I pulled the 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is in relation to someone. And it is someone who caused you a lot of anxiety. I mean, a lot of anxiety. And so now your inner self is saying, this person, notice you've got 2 8s here. 8s are cards of progress, tremendous progress, and moving on. In the 8 of Cups, it's progress, it's emotional progress, moving on from what has stressed you out, and seeing the results of that in the 8 of Pentacles, right? So this to me feels like literally mastering your emotional state. And the High Priestess is showing, I think this is about faith, but I also still feel like there's some apology that's coming your way. Or where you recognize Yeah, Page of Swords. Thank you. Doubling down on that. Swords, messaging coming in. It's two ways. It's you thinking about the person or the situation a different way because you've moved out of it. You've grown, you've grown past it. There's the world, there's strength. You've come to realize innovation, paying attention to detail with the tailor, meaning how you are creating and tailoring your life moving forward with the world. So whatever this was that made you feel like I'm not for everyone, maybe some of you may have lost jobs. Some of you may have just somehow felt been passed over for a promotion. This could have been a relationship issue where, the person did not do right by you. Or maybe it was something you really wanted and it didn't come your way, but you learned a lot from it. Your inner self is, let's say, hands down, you learned a lot from it, and there is still a lot yet for you that you're going to learn with that high priestess. There's a lot that's being revealed to you intuitively, and you're tapping into that inner knowing. Talk about your inner self. This would definitely be reflective of that, because it's that part of you that understands intuitively why this had to happen. I don't see you angry or playing a blame game here, but I just see you coming out of a period of it almost feels like exile. You're coming out of a period of that energy of worrying, not sleeping, feeling sad, playing the tapes over and over and over in your head of what happened in the situation, if you had to leave the job, the relationship, etc. But you are so headed in another direction, pile number 2. And it's going to make you feel very accomplished in how far you've come to get yourself out of that frame of mind. Your spring is definitely coming, and your higher self is saying, be ready to take on the world. Be ready to see the world in a new way. You can tailor attention to detail, take pride in your work, and don't be afraid to be yourself, to try something new, to continue to create your works, whatever they are. All right? All right. And don't forget enlightenment. Your stone that you got, pile number 2, was the Herkimer diamond, which it brings about enlightenment. That would be very helpful for you to work with during this time. All right, during the month of March especially, and maybe beyond. Okay. And let's move on now to pile number 3. Those of you who were drawn to the amethyst. And you have your stone that will help you this month is an energy booster, yellow calcite. Some of you may have some stuff going on with that willpower. Your inner self is saying, locking in on your willpower, locking in on your ability to buckle down and know that you are worthy, having confidence in yourself, in your gifts. Embrace, remember your primordial nature. You are a vessel. All right now. All right, that's your medicine this month. Your inner self is saying, remember, you are a vessel, and to embrace that part of you. And I find that interesting coming with that yellow calcite. I'm already feeling like this is this is going to be a deeply healing month for those of you who chose this pile. We have the drum, dream and journey. The drum. Yeah, this is some deep, deep healing energy. 7 of Swords, seeing the truth of a matter, seeing beyond the filters of a matter. And the 3 of Pentacles in relation to work, home, your friendship groups. The 8 of Swords. Yeah, this is something that within this workplace or your home, or for some of you, this was a health related issue. There was some information that you've been given, or you've almost been, how do I say? You've been tempted to believe the worst in a situation before you understood how to lead, how to get the best, or trust in the best result, because you were being fed stressful information. You were getting caught up with people speaking their minds. Supposedly, some of you, I feel like you've had false friends, or people who, we've all had those people who swear that they're telling us something for our own good, when in fact what they're doing is feeding into anxiety or heightened state. And here it comes confirmed. You have the Five of Cups as well, which is a card of emotional struggle, very often a card of feeling left out, feeling lost, feeling at a loss for understanding even how to process your emotions. We have the chiromancer, delivering news and collaboration. I think this is your spirit guides, pile number 3. I think this is between that drum, dreams and journeying, and delivering the news, collaboration, the chiromancer. This is deep spiritual communication. And that's where spirit is taking you and saying that your inner self is saying, all of this stuff aside, this is where the real truth and power lies. And I feel like for some of you, it is literally a drum. You literally are going to be drawn to, your higher self is saying, your inner self is saying, listen to the music, listen to the drum, dance, embrace who you really are, and go through. You're going through a period of having your energy boosted, and your confidence and your sense of self-worth. Because somebody or something let you down, and it caught you a little off guard in some respect, because Seven of Swords is usually some sort of very, not always, but very often, some sort of trickery or deceit, or where someone is a little two-faced, or even for you, if it's you, it could be not being honest with yourself and not standing in your own truth. Self-esteem issues. Excuse me. Self-esteem. There's a new earth here. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. Whoa, let me hold that up for you. It's happening. Keep holding that vision. A new earth. New people. Some of you, if you are looking for a better job situation, if there is tension within your family, and if you are dealing with a health issue, all of those things are coming into a new phase with this new earth. It's happening. And keep holding the vision. Hold the vision for your ability to prosper, for your ability to heal, for your ability to mesh and develop your spiritual gifts. Excuse me. I got some incense going a little strong. There's a woman who shows up here. Says she's fair-skinned. So again, if this is a workplace issue, and if this was tied into someone who was not being real with you, then you'll know who that is. Okay? Because she's showing up there for a reason. And I feel like she's showing up because she was tied to this disappointment, or this could also be someone who's leaning, for some of you, this is someone who's leaning on you for emotional support, it's almost like they're feeding off of you. And there's this part of your inner self is saying, the reason that that's been allowed to happen and that deception is because of your own self-worth. It gave you a sense of self-worth, or you have been, when others, even if it feels like you're being taken advantage of sometimes, you see that almost as an act of service, or, it's the thing that feeds into making you feel useful, but that causes an imbalance there. So there's a new energy that's coming. And you have a timing element of December. This is a process. This reigniting or healing your solar plexus chakra, your sense of self-esteem, self-worth, embodying really who you are and your gifts, having that, having that closer connection with your spirit guides and embracing that part of your nature. And feeling more in control. That's your final card. Because a lot of what happened for you all, pile number 3, was whatever this situation was, you didn't feel like you had enough control. This is Jupiter in Capricorn. I really do feel that for many of you, this is around work, work slash family, or working with family. Many of you may even work from home, and so the two kind of blend together with many people are working from home now. But there is that. I want to get a little more clarity around who this is or what this was that you're moving away from, and around moving into that spiritual piece of embracing your spiritual nature, embracing your higher self more, like making a conscious effort to do that. Because it also looks like this has absorbed so much of your day-to-day consciousness that your spirit life may have taken sort of a back seat to it. So between now and December, that's what's getting amped up. You're reigniting that part of yourself. 9 of Pentacles. And the World. Yeah, this is changing a job, changing your reliance on a certain revenue stream so that you can bring in more. That 9 of Pentacles is a card that of material wealth, of material gain. This is also putting something behind you. If it relates to Pentacles, can point to a health issue. If some of you who chose this pile, if you've been dealing with a health issue, you gain more control over it. There is healing in your body that's taking place, and you will get past whatever this situation is. You will move into a new chapter with the World. Okay? And if you were misinformed about whatever this condition was, your potential, if it was health, what the prognosis was or the treatment for it, if you've moved into another place of trusting yourself more to seek a different, having confidence in your own ability, by December, this 21, ruled by Saturn, by the way. The World is ruled by Saturn. Saturn is a ruling planet of Capricorn, which month is in, it takes place December to January. So for some of you, by the end of the year, you will have regained control over this situation in your life. Whether it is a job, feeling more secure in a job, whether it is your health, or whether it is coming out from under the influence of someone who ultimately is either leaning on you too hard, sucking up a lot of your energy, you needing better boundaries and understanding your own power in relation to this person or this situation. And it's all taking you to a place of a new earth. It's taking you to a place of a greater focus and attention to your higher self and to your spirit guides, and understanding that while people may let you down, they never will. Your highest self will never, ever, ever let you down. All right? All right, pile number 3. That was beautiful. See what's coming up for you between now and the end of the year, this whole healing process that you're undergoing, all right? Thank you all so much. I appreciate you being with me. Please leave your comments. I'm always open to hearing your feedback. I enjoy being a part of this community with you, and I'll talk to you really soon. Enjoy this month of March. It's going to be beautifully transformational. Take care. Bye.